What if every decision you've ever made wasn't truly yours to make? Imagine for a moment that the choices you thought were personal, what career to pursue, who to love, even what to eat for breakfast, were not the product of your conscious will, but instead shaped by unseen forces. Forces buried deep within your brain, written into the code of the universe, or perhaps flowing from something far greater than yourself. How would that change how you see your life? Would it liberate you, or would it terrify you? Free will, the belief that we consciously control our actions, is a concept we hold tightly to. It gives us a sense of agency, a sense of pride in our achievements, and even the motivation to keep striving. But what if it's not as real as we think? What if, instead, our decisions are scripted by subconscious patterns, by biological mechanisms, by universal flows, and we are simply players in a grand design, unaware of the stage we walk on? That's a question that strikes at the very core of how we live, how we love, and how we judge ourselves and others. In this video, we'll explore this fascinating and unsettling possibility: the illusion of free will. We'll uncover what neuroscience has revealed about the hidden workings of our brains, dive into centuries of philosophical debates, and see what spiritual wisdom says about surrendering to the flow of the universe. Most importantly, you'll walk away with a deeper understanding of yourself and the hidden forces shaping your life, along with tools to live more intentionally, even if free will itself is an illusion. So, are we truly free? Or are we just following a script we can't see? Let's find out. But before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and join our growing and loved community if you're fascinated by topics like free will, consciousness, and universal laws. Neuroscience has revealed something astonishing about the way we make decisions. Your brain often decides before you do. In the 1980s, neuroscientist Benjamin Libet conducted experiments that forever changed how we think about free will. He discovered that electrical activity in the brain, the readiness potential, could be detected moments before participants became consciously aware of their decision to move a finger. This meant that while people believed they were deciding in real time, their brains were already in motion, steering their actions before they knew it. This finding raised profound questions. If your brain acts before your conscious mind is even aware, how much control do you really have? Are we merely observers, watching decisions unfold as if on autopilot? Newer studies suggest a more nuanced picture. While the brain's readiness potential initiates decisions, conscious intention can still play a role in shaping or even overriding those initial impulses. Imagine feeling an urge to speak impulsively during a heated conversation, but choosing in that split second to stay silent. It's in this space, between impulse and awareness, that some argue free will might still exist. Think about how this plays out in daily life. Consider something as simple as choosing what to eat. You may believe your decision to grab a salad instead of pizza was entirely deliberate, but how much of that was influenced by subconscious cues? The smell of the pizza, your memory of a recent health goal, or even a fleeting image of someone eating salad on social media. All of these factors work quietly behind the scenes. And yet, the idea that our choices are partly driven by unconscious processes doesn't have to feel defeating. It can feel liberating. Awareness of this dynamic gives us the power to pause, to reflect, and to redirect. So let me ask you, if your brain often decides before you do, how much control do you believe you really have? And more importantly, how might understanding this help you make better choices moving forward? Philosophers have debated free will for centuries, and their perspectives offer profound insights into the nature of choice and control. One perspective, called compatibilism, suggests that free will can coexist with determinism. It argues that while events in the universe may follow cause and effect patterns, freedom exists when we act according to our desires and intentions, even if those desires are influenced by prior events. In other words, you might not control the forces that shape your preferences, but you're free as long as your actions align with them. Then there's the more challenging idea of incompatibilism, which insists that free will and determinism cannot exist together. Galen Strawson, a modern philosopher, took this argument further with his concept of infinite regress. He posited that to have true free will, we would need to be entirely responsible for who we are, including the factors that shaped us. But how can you be responsible for your upbringing, genetics, or the time and place of your birth? If you didn't choose the conditions that formed you, can you truly claim ownership of your choices? Consider Immanuel Kant's perspective, which introduces another dimension to this debate. Kant suggested that humans operate in two realms: the physical realm, governed by laws of nature, and the rational realm, where moral freedom resides. While our physical actions might be influenced by external forces, our capacity for rational thought and moral responsibility, Kant believed, gives us a kind of freedom that transcends determinism. These ideas aren't just philosophical abstractions. They touch on how we view ourselves and others. If you succeed in life, how much of that success is truly yours, and how much is the result of circumstances beyond your control? Conversely, when you fail, should you carry the full weight of blame? And how does this affect how we judge others, our friends, our family, or even strangers? These philosophical perspectives don't give us simple answers, but they do give us a lens through which to rethink responsibility, credit, and blame. Perhaps the power lies not in resolving the debate, but in learning to question how much of what we do and how we see ourselves is truly under our control. So what do you think? Are you the author of your life, or are you following a script written by forces far beyond your reach? Spiritual traditions offer a perspective on free will that shifts the focus from control to awareness. Many teachings suggest that while our choices may seem autonomous, they are deeply intertwined with larger universal flows. Concepts like karma and predestination highlight how our actions, past and present, create ripples that shape the circumstances of our lives. But within these influences lies the opportunity to respond, to act with intention rather than reacting unconsciously. Consider the idea of interconnectedness, found in many spiritual frameworks. It teaches that no choice exists in isolation. Every decision we make, no matter how small, is part of a greater whole, affecting not just our lives but the world around us. This perspective reframes free will as participation, a dynamic exchange between individual actions and universal forces. Take, for example, mindfulness practices like meditation. These spiritual tools don't grant complete control over life's outcomes, but they do cultivate awareness. Through meditation, we become attuned to the subconscious patterns driving our behavior. We notice the automatic reactions that might otherwise control us, and in that awareness, we find the power to choose differently. Some spiritual philosophies even suggest that surrender, rather than striving for control, is the ultimate expression of freedom. By aligning with the flow of life, whether you call it the universe, the divine, or simply nature, you reduce inner conflict and discover a deeper sense of peace. That's about acting with clarity and harmony, guided by a connection to something larger than yourself. So ask yourself, could the freedom you seek lie not in controlling every decision, but in becoming aware of the forces shaping them? And could surrendering to the flow of life, rather than resisting it, bring you closer to the freedom you desire? Spiritual traditions invite us to see that even if our choices are guided by forces beyond our understanding, we have the power to engage with them consciously, creating lives of meaning and intention. Science and spirituality might seem like separate paths, but when it comes to free will, they offer insights that beautifully complement each other. In the world of quantum mechanics, there's an idea that the universe isn't as rigidly deterministic as it might appear. Phenomena like the observer effect reveal that the act of observation can influence the outcome of quantum events. This raises intriguing questions. Could human consciousness play a similar role in shaping reality? And if so, where does that leave the concept of free will? Another concept, criterial causation, suggests that while we may not control every detail of how decisions unfold, our conscious intentions set the criteria for how processes in the brain and potentially the quantum world respond. Imagine planting a seed in a garden. You can't control how the sun shines or the rain falls, but by choosing the type of seed and nurturing it with intention, you shape the growth that follows. This idea bridges science and spirituality. In the same way that quantum events unfold with a degree of randomness, spiritual teachings often emphasize the unpredictability of life and the importance of aligning our intentions with universal energy. Together, they suggest that free will might not lie in controlling outcomes, but in setting meaningful intentions and letting the process unfold. So how does this apply to your daily life? Even if free will is limited, awareness empowers you to influence the conditions of your choices. When cultivate mindfulness, strive to understand subconscious patterns, and align with our values, we can guide the flow of our lives in ways that feel authentic and purposeful. The interplay between science and spirituality invites us to stop seeing ourselves as passive participants and instead embrace the role of co-creators in this vast, interconnected reality. Now, consider this. If you're not fully in control, but you're also not powerless, how might you approach your choices differently? Science and spirituality both invite you to engage with life more consciously, showing that even in a world of unseen forces, your awareness is a powerful tool for transformation. The truth about free will is not just an intellectual puzzle. It's a profound revelation about who you truly are. You are not a passive observer of your life. You are not a prisoner of your subconscious mind or the external forces around you. You are an intricate, conscious part of something far greater. Every thought, every action, every intention carries the potential to ripple through the unseen currents of existence, shaping reality in ways you can't yet imagine. Even if free will as we know it is an illusion, the awareness of these forces puts the reins back in your hands. You are the meeting point of science, philosophy, and spirit, a living, breathing miracle of interconnectedness. What we've explored today is not just knowledge, it's an invitation. An invitation to see your life through a lens of infinite possibility, where understanding the hidden forces shaping your choices doesn't diminish you, it empowers you. The universe moves through you, and your awareness of that truth is your superpower. To our beloved community, this journey is nothing without you. Together, we are unlocking life's deepest mysteries, one conversation at a time. You are the reason this channel exists. Your curiosity, your insights, and your hunger for growth inspire everything we do. This is a movement toward awakening, a collective exploration of what it means to be alive. So now, we invite you to carry this energy forward. If you felt something shift within you, if this video sparked a fire in your soul, share your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your voice. And if you haven't already, join this incredible community by subscribing and becoming part of something far greater than any of us alone. The journey doesn't end here. Click on one of the videos recommended for you, and let's dive even deeper together. You are powerful, you are connected, and your awareness changes everything.